This is Christopher Moore with MovieViral.com. We're here with Scream Queen Linnea Quigley. First of all, I want to ask you, how did you get into acting? How did that come about?
I got into it by mistake. I was working at a Jack LaLanne's health spa, and these other girls were there, and they were also instructors and, you know, people that weighed people in and measured them and everything and got them in shape. And they said, oh, you know, you can be a model and stuff like us and get into acting. And so I followed them and I went on like a photo shoot thing, and I ended up doing the photo shoot and getting in a magazine. I don't even remember the name of the magazine, but then I got an agent from it and I started taking acting classes, and he sent me out and I started getting like little extra parts and then a little bigger part where I'd have one line like hello or something, and it just spiraled from there. It was an accident.
Now, your big breakout part, of course, was in The Return of the Living Dead. Now, was that a fun set to work on when you did that film?
It was a very professional set when I worked on it, and it was run like a tight ship because the money was like not a lot of money. It was only $1.5 million, which is not a lot.
Yeah.
You know, for today's standards. And it was fun, except when we were in the rain.
Yeah.
For me, the rain just drove me nuts because it was freezing. It was October, I think, in LA when we did it, so it cools down a lot in LA. So we'd go from 4 in the afternoon till like 5 in the morning. Or 6 in the morning, and then go home, try to sleep, and then go back again.
Now, of course, the infamous scene is where you're dancing nude in the cemetery. How uncomfortable was that, doing that scene in front of the crew and everything?
Well, it was uncomfortable. It was very uncomfortable to do in front of the crew and the cast and everything like that. But it was like kind of a blessing because there was not rain and it was warm. So it was kind of a relief in a way to have a day that I didn't have to be rained on or be made into a zombie. So it wasn't bad.
Now, of course, over the 119 plus movies that you've done a lot of practical effects and makeup and that kind of thing. What was one of the most difficult things you had to do, like, when it came to makeup effects?
I think Return of the Living Dead, it's between Return of the Living Dead and Night of the Demons were the hardest, because it took like over 8 hours for both of them to have the makeup put on. And when I did Return of the Living Dead, they put on this makeup that was waterproof. They used it on some Disney movie where a seal had to have paint on it, so it had to be, waterproof and everything. So I'd go home and like try to scrub it off, and it wouldn't come off. And I remember the makeup effects guy that they fired handed me gasoline to try to take it off, which I learned was not a good thing to do because it was just not coming off.
Now, you've been working in the independent film community for a while. How has the film industry changed since when you started and now? Or has it changed?
It's changed a lot from when I started. When I started, everything was on 35 or 16 millimeter, and you had to have somewhat of a budget from a studio or distribution company to do a film. And they usually would when I first started, I would do a lot of the mock, drawings or paintings or pictures of like I did Reform School girls before they sold it on the idea of, here's this picture of 3 girls in, sexy prison garb, and then sell the movie by that way. And nowadays it's just, I've got, Tony Todd to be in the movie, and, they sell it that way. But nowadays, anybody that can get a video camera can direct something. And they can get their friends in it, and, it might turn out pretty bad and everything, but they can be a filmmaker.
Now, as an actress, I see you're on Twitter and Facebook. Do you think it's important as an actress to interact with your fans using social media?
I think so. I think it's become really important now to use social media to correspond with your fans, because otherwise they don't know where you're at. They don't have no kind of, it's not a connection. And now you can make a more of a connection other than the mail, which used to be, and then they'd have to find out what your address was to mail to, where your fan club was. and everything. And so now people don't have fan clubs as much. They mainly have, Facebook pages now.
Yeah. Now, one of the interesting things in your career was you did Linnea Quigley's horror workout.
Yes.
Now, how did that come about? Was that your idea, or did someone approach you about that?
It was, I was on the set of Murder Weapon, a David Dakota film, and Ken Hall, who was the director of the horror workout, he had written like a couple movies like Nightmare Sisters and so forth. And he came up with the idea that, I was doing the scene where I'm like, hitting this girl with this axe again and again and again. And we thought it would be funny because doing a horror film is a workout. You're running, you're, having to use heavy instruments, plummeting people, getting plummeted. So we thought we'll take, two little skits and put them together and do a horror workout.
Oh, cool. Now, actually, I own the 1990 issue of Gorzo magazine, which you were on the cover of.
Oh, wow.
And now they're actually reviving Gorzo magazine, and I see that you're featured in that with some
Yes.
sort of nice photos of you, which I've seen. How over the years, how have you been able to keep in shape? I mean, is it the way you eat? Or, I mean, can you give us some examples of how, as an actress, how you've stayed in such great shape?
Well, I think a lot of it's genes. I have good genes from my parents. Mm-hmm. Levi's. No, I'm joking. But I've got, I'm vegan, so I don't eat animals. I also do exercise. I don't just sit around and eat potato chips and watch TV and stuff like that. So I think, my eating habits and also, just being active have helped me keep in shape. Mm-hmm. Over the years.
Now, people know you as being sort of America's scream queen, the quintessential scream queen. What's some interesting tidbits about you that people probably wouldn't know or would be interested in knowing?
Oh, probably that I'm totally into animal rights and, use my voice for their voice. I'm very shy. I'm not very good at parties or anything like that. I just, if I don't have a script, I kind of clam up or something. Mm-hmm. And so I wouldn't call myself antisocial, but I'm not good socially at parties and things like that. And what else would be interesting for them to know? I like crime shows.
Crime shows?
I love crime shows.
What's your favorite crime show?
I think True TV or it's called ID right now.
Oh, yeah.
I watch ID all the time.
Investigation
Yes.
Discovery.
Yeah, Discovery.
So what projects do you have coming up that people would want to know about?
There's a lot. Disciples, I've got 3 changes in age and demonic possession in it. It's got Tony Todd, Bill Moseley, Cameron Toy, Angus Scrim. It's got a really big cast of good people. Disciples will be out. Blood Story is another one coming out. I just did the past couple months, The Hunters, which is a very disturbing horror film. And then I did a musical comedy right before I got here called The Unquenchable Thirst for Bone or Juice. And it's funny. It's kind of like, a Albert Brooks type movie where, there's a lot of fart jokes and stuff like that.
Well, I appreciate you.
Mel Brooks, I'm sorry.
Oh, Mel Brooks. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a difference.
Well, I appreciate you talking with us today, and good luck with all your future projects.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.